Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I am back here with my Catch, Defend, Act, Trust chart because for today, for day 55, I believe, of my Dating Myself challenge, I want to share something on my chart that I observed during the catch stage. And you know, like most of you know who've been watching me, I am in the process of 90 days of dating myself, following 90 days of conscious attempts to recover from an old binge eating habit, which was for the most part successful. I'm binging a lot less frequently than I used to. And as part of a method for beating the binge eating, I created this formula, this Catch, Defend, Act, Trust formula. And it starts with, I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit to the catch. Sorry about the shadow there. But basically, and this could be applied to anything, not just binge eating disorder. So it's noticing urges as they arise from the reactive and parasitic part of your brain where your judge and victim reside. So I'm using a lot of language from The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz here. If you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. But basically, you know, part of what he describes in his book is that, you know, we have different parts of our brain. One, the warrior brain, you know, which is the wise, resilient part of the brain. And then there's the parasite, where a lot of our insecurities and lies to ourselves and bad habits and limiting beliefs come from. Right? So catching is basically being mindful enough to notice the urge and it comes up. And I've been talking about two main urges in my videos. One is the urge to binge eat, and one is the urge to act compulsively to find another partner, since this is the first time I've been single, basically ever, in my adulthood. And the latter urges they're not as black and white as the urge to binge eat. So they're like a little bit harder to detect than the binge urges. But there's another thing that I do that I actually applied this catch step to. And it was the first time I applied it to something that wasn't, related to either of those two challenges. And I caught, not only did I have an urge to daydream, but I went into it a little bit. Sometimes, you know, when I feel overwhelmed, I daydream and I work on creative projects to distract myself. Now, that doesn't sound bad in and of itself, but it's not good when I do it to avoid things that I need to do. And there was a task that I needed to do at work today that I found myself half hour into the distraction, scribbling all these things down incessantly. Like and I said to myself, and this is what I wanted to share with this video, I said to myself, girl, this isn't your goal. And I was able to just put down the distraction I was doing and get back to the task at work that I didn't want to do. Like, girl, this isn't your... Sorry, I just heard something. Like, girl, this isn't your goal. And that's one of the few times I can recall in my adult life when I was able to distract myself from a place coming from, stop myself, in the middle of an impulsive behavior and address myself from the point of the warrior rather than the parasite. Because if it was my parasite addressing it, it probably would have chastised me, like, oh, look what you did. Look at all of this time you wasted. Or it would say something like, you already wasted so much time, just keep doing it. Why go back? But I was able to address myself in a way that was compassionate yet direct and not judgy. And I listened to myself. I listened to it back. And I think that part of the Dating Myself challenge is not only doing wonderful activities like yoga and joining a creative writing group, which I'm doing today. It's not only things like that, but it's learning how to respond to yourself in the moment in a way that works for you. I mean, like, what's one of the best things about being with a special someone, with an intimate partner? It's chemistry, right? Like, it's the way you relate to each other just works. Wow, what I did today, this isn't your goal, that's good chemistry with myself. And I definitely want to keep it up. So that's my tidbit to today. If you're working on what I'm working with, the self-love and dating yourself, how can you have good chemistry with yourself and help you become better? So think on that. And if you are working on kicking any habits that are no longer useful for you, again, hit me up. I'd be happy to talk to you about my Catch, Defend, Act, Trust method and send you some of your own posters. You can reach me at urgewarrioress at gmail.com. So hit me up, send me an email, comment on this. I'd be happy to share it with you, and I'll check in with you all tomorrow for day 56. Happy Transformation Tuesday, everyone.